Good morning, everyone. I'm Ed from Evocati Tactical, and today we will go over how to unload multiple magazines. If you're anything like me, and you like to keep a lot of magazines loaded, and you've probably heard online or from other sources that it's good to rotate those magazines out so that the springs don't decompress or lose their strength, which is true. If you leave magazines in there for 10 years, if you leave completely 30 round magazines with 30 rounds inside of them for 10 years, they're probably going to be a little weak. Okay, so it's good to always do that. You know, say I have 40 magazines, I'll have 10 that I use or don't use at the range, but they're kept unloaded. And you start unloading these magazines, and you realize, 10 magazines, that's 300 rounds of ammunition. And you're just sitting there plowing away at it like this. Some people just unload their magazines round by round, or if they're smart, they use the beveled edge of the butt end of the round, and they just go like this. Both pretty good ways to do it once you get into a groove. But the fastest way, especially with PMags, to unload a magazine is by taking the bottom base plate off. Okay. And the way you do that is you decompress this middle button right here. You can use a round or a cleaning rod. You push forward on there, like so. You want to put your hand over it because once you remove this base plate, there's nothing to stop the spring from flying out and, possibly damaging something around your house if you're doing it inside your house. So, take it out, slowly pull out the spring, and now you dump out your rounds. And if you're one of those people that like to clean magazines, you can now do that at this time. So you have a metal magazine, like so, standard issue metal magazine. The way you take it out is much the same, but you don't have a button on the bottom, so you have to use the hole. There's a hole at the bottom. You can use a round. You just take it, you push out on it. It's gonna pop out like this. Once again, I like to put my hand over it, especially if it's full, and yank this out. So that at the side, same thing, so they decompress that spring, dump the rounds out. There's no rounds in that, but you get the point. Now going over how to go about cleaning these, some people have solvent tanks, and they use those solvent tanks and they soak their magazines and their the springs inside that solvent tank for a while, overnight or whatever. I usually I just simply spray mine with some cleaner lubricant preservative, CLP, or some, I use Remington gun oil. Then I'll let it sit overnight, and then I'll clean it out with a brush, and then I'll take an old Army t-shirt or some old t-shirts, and I'll, clean it with that as well. I'll shove the t-shirt in there and take the brush and just kind of go around with it and get all the carbon out of there. But that CLP, once you spray it in there, will loosen up that carbon, so in the morning or whenever you decide to clean it, it'll be good and loose for you to get all that. Now putting these back together, the PMag's very simple, but the metal mags can sometimes be a little finicky. If you don't put them in the right way, you'll have a very wobbly spring plate at the top. So you put it back in there, you press this down, you go from back to front, slide that back in there. Take your finger out of it. And just push it in there. And as you can see, it's seated properly. I usually like to give it a couple hits, make sure that spring gets seated. Make sure that's not going to fall out, which it shouldn't. And then you want to press down on that and make sure it doesn't do this in there. If you press down the front and the front goes down first like that, you have a weak spring or a damaged spring, and that could lead to further malfunctions whenever you're using your firearm. PMag is really a lot simpler, a lot easier than that. There's no grooves you have to match up. You just throw it in there. This is going to sit right on top. It's going to go from front to back. And the only thing you really need to make sure is that the nipple of that bottom spring plate is flush with the bottom plate of the magazine. Okay. And that is 3 easy ways to unload a magazine, from the most time consuming to the least time consuming, and we went over a little bit how to clean those magazines. If you like this video and thought it was useful, please hit the like button below. And feel free to subscribe to our channel and watch any videos that we have. And please stay safe, stay alive.